Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got how good were the Legion of Boom Seahawks actually? Let's check this out.
LOB. This group of players was
One of the most
Today,
dominant
we'll
defenses in NFL history.
Famous secondary, the Legion of Boom. There are plenty of ways to be a successful team in the NFL. You could have an elite quarterback like Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. You could have a masterminded head coach like Vince Lombardi, Bill Walsh, or Don Shula. Above all, arguably, nothing is more important than one specific thing. As legendary football coach Bear Bryant once said, defense wins championships. The 2000 Baltimore Ravens, the 2002 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the 2015 Denver Broncos are some recent examples of how a dominant defense can lead you to immediate success.
That should have been us last year.
Decade plus, arguably no defensive unit has been more polarizing than the Legion of Boom Seattle Seahawks. The early 2010 Seahawks very well might be the greatest secondary ever assembled, with All-Pro cornerback Richard Sherman and All-Pro safeties Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas absolutely locking down anything over the top. The Legion of Boom terrified every quarterback that was facing the Seahawks.
That gave me fucking flashbacks of us losing to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game.
Of the Cardinals.
Yo.
They would have to play Seattle twice a year. Sherman, Chancellor, and Thomas helped lead Seattle to a dominant 43-8 victory in Super Bowl 48 against the red-hot Denver Broncos, the team that had the #1 offense in the NFL and MVP quarterback Peyton Manning, who had one of the single greatest MVP seasons in NFL history before this loss. That's how dominant this defense was. But how good was the Legion of Boom really? Is this tandem truly one of the greatest ever, or are fans blinded by nostalgia? That's what we're here to discuss. In 2010, the Seattle Seahawks were coming off of a forgettable season, finishing the season with a 5-11 record. The Seahawks were in the bottom 10 in almost every single defensive category, so it was clear that a change had to be made. So what did they do? They fired Jim Mora and hired Pete Carroll as VP of football operations and head coach. Then, a week later, they hired John Schneider as GM.
Look at my nigga Mike McDonald.
Committed to building their team through the draft by drafting and developing players. In the first round of the 2010 NFL Draft, with the 14th pick, they selected Earl Thomas, a safety out of the University of Texas. However, Thomas wouldn't be the only safety Seattle would take in the 2010 draft, as they also landed Cam Chancellor from Virginia Tech in the 5th round, with pick 133 to be exact. As rookies, the two would have completely different roles for the Seahawks. Thomas was a Week 1 starter who made an immediate impact. Meanwhile, Chancellor took a bit to learn and develop, only recording 23 total tackles in his rookie season. The Seahawks finished the 2010 season 7-9, a slight improvement, but there was still much work to be done. Seattle had found their safeties, but it was clear that the cornerback room was still lacking.
What the hell is going on with Earl Thomas nowadays, though, bro? Because I've been seeing a lot of crazy shit about him.
With the 154th pick, they selected former 6'2 receiver turned corner Richard Sherman out of Stanford. Sherman had all of the physical attributes to be great. His size and strength caught the eye of the regime, so Seattle took a chance. 1 round later, they chose another cornerback, Byron Maxwell. They made another significant transaction in the secondary, signing 6'4 cornerback Brandon Browner from Canada after his outstanding play.
I ain't heard that name in a break.
Of the CFL. Seattle started the season off poorly, recording a miserable 2-6 record through their first 8 games. By this point, Thomas and Chancellor had cemented themselves as one of the league's best safety duos, and 5th-round pick Richard Sherman earned the starting job at corner as a rookie. After their 2-6 start, Seattle would get hot, winning 5 of their last 8 games for yet another 7-9 season. The difference between this one and the last is that
they made the playoffs.
Now had a top 7 defense. Not only that, but Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor would both make their first Pro Bowl teams, with Thomas even making 2nd-team All-Pro. Sherman would finish his rookie season strong as well, recording 4 interceptions in his 10 starts, showing that Seattle had found something special in the secondary brewing. Going
Okay.
into the 2012 season, the
Marshawn
Seahawks had a
Lynch.
ton of hype as a team that could make a big splash in the playoffs. Fans even came up with a
Damn.
name for their up-and-coming secondary. Can you guess what that would be?
Legion
However,
of
there was
Boom.
one gleaming issue. They didn't have a quarterback. Weeks before the season would begin, Seattle traded their starting quarterback, Tavares Jackson, to the Buffalo Bills, leaving a big hole under center. However, that summer, they had signed Matt Flynn from Green Bay.
Oh, I remember
They drafted a
him.
quarterback from Wisconsin named Russell Wilson in the 3rd round, who would ultimately
Nigga,
win
bro, I
the
used to
starting
always
role.
use these
Having an
niggas on
unproven rookie
fucking
quarterback
Madden. Was
out there
Madden
made the
13 or some
Seahawks
shit like
hype
that?
balance out. But boy,
This nigga was
it
decent
picked
at
back up
Madden.
once
I ain't
they
even gonna
saw
lie to
some
you.
regular season action. Going into their Week 11 bye week, the Seahawks would get themselves to a 6-4 record, along with one of the best defenses in the NFL. The Legion of Boom were rising out of the shadows and becoming a scary threat to every NFL offense they faced. But after falling to 6-5 after a 24-21 loss to the Miami Dolphins, Seattle would win 5 straight games to end the season, holding their opponents to 9.9 points per game during that stretch,
Wow.
including a Week 14 shutout victory versus the Arizona
10
Cardinals.
points is crazy.
The Seahawks would end the season with an 11-5 record, finishing second in the NFC West, but securing a playoff spot.
Look at
The
Cam
Legion of
Newton.
Boom would be in full effect, finishing the season with the best scoring defense in the NFL, a sign of things
Damn.
to come. Not only that, but both Earl Thomas and Richard Sherman would make first-team All-Pro, cementing themselves as the best players at their positions in the league. In their first playoff game as a tandem, the Seahawks defeated the Washington Redskins 24-14.
Redskins.
However, they would lose in the divisional round to the Atlanta Falcons in a 30-20.
Was that the year Atlanta lost
Despite
to
loss,
the
it was
Patriots in the
clear
Super
that
Bowl?
Seattle would be a Super Bowl favorite for years to come.
28-3.
Expectations were
28-3,
soaring at an
bro.
all-time high in Seattle heading into the
Crazy.
2013
Atlanta had
season.
one job
So
and
what
could
did
not
they do?
finish it.
They became the best team in all of football. They finished the season with a 13-3 record and by far the best defense in the league, as the Legion of Boom would allow an absurd 14.4 points per game over the entire 16-game season. Not only that, but all 3 of their core secondary pieces would make an All-Pro team, as
Wow.
Sherman and Thomas once again would both make first-team
Megatron.
All-Pro, and Chancellor
AB.
made second-team All-Pro. Sherman and Thomas would also both finish top 5 in Defensive Player of the Year voting. Even Russell Wilson would make a Pro Bowl and finish top 5 in Offensive Player of the Year voting. All signs were pointing toward the Lombardi coming to Seattle. They just had to replicate their regular season in January. In the divisional round, they would beat the New Orleans Saints in convincing fashion before hosting their division rivals and reigning NFC champions,
Sheesh.
the Jim Harbaugh-led San Francisco 49ers, in the NFC Championship. San Francisco was one of the 3 teams to beat Seattle in the regular season, so this game could have gone either way. After a back-and-forth contest, the game came down to the Seahawks leading 23-17 late in the game. But Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers were driving down the field, looking for one last touchdown to send them to their second straight Super Bowl. San Francisco would have the ball at the Seattle 18 line with 30 seconds left. Hoping to find the end zone, Kaepernick would throw a pass to star receiver Michael Crabtree in the back
And then
corner of the end zone.
Richard
As
Sherman.
Crabtree was tracking the ball, Richard
Great
Sherman
play.
was there to bat the ball into the air before it being intercepted by linebacker.
Don't ever try me with a sorry receiver like
Arguably,
Crabtree.
the Legion of Boom's most
That shit
iconic
is the
and
most
memorable
iconic
moment,
line ever,
Sherman
bro.
had sent his team to the Super Bowl.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get.
But the next opponent
Yo,
was
bro.
the toughest
Richard
of them
Sherman
all.
was him.
Seattle would run
Oh
into
my
the NFL's
goodness.
number 1 offense, the Denver Broncos, who were 13-3 and led by the league's MVP, Peyton Manning. This Broncos offense put the entire NFL through an offensive clinic that year. In a 16-game regular season, Peyton Manning threw for a staggering record-breaking 5,477 yards and 55 touchdowns. Noshawn Moreno led the Broncos in all-purpose yards, rushing for 1,038 and 10 touchdowns while catching 60 passes for 548 yards. Demarius Thomas led the team with 92
RPDT.
catches and gained 1,430 yards along with 14 touchdowns. Eric Decker caught 87 passes for 1,288 yards and 11 touchdowns. Wes Welker and Julius Thomas each had over 700 yards and at least 10 touchdowns apiece.
Wow.
This offense was insane. Peyton was cooking all year long,
Yo.
picking apart every defense that took the field against them. But what did Seattle do? They made Denver look like a college team.
Look at Joe Namath.
Seattle
Oh
would win
shit.
Super Bowl 48, 43-8 after an
43
absolutely
to
dominating
8.
performance from the Legion of Boom. So, who won the Super Bowl MVP? Richard Sherman? Earl Thomas? Nope. It was the man who caught the game-sealing interception 2 weeks prior, Malcolm Smith.
Oh
The
wow.
best defense in the league took on the moniker and brought the 12s in Seattle a Lombardi trophy as they would look to start a dynasty. Unfortunately, that dynasty would never come. The following season, all three secondary guys would make all-pro teams again, Seattle would win the NFC West again, and they would see themselves in the Super Bowl again. So why
This
didn't the
time,
dynasty happen?
losing
Malcolm
to-
Butler is why. The Seahawks were down 4 points to Tom Brady and
Sheesh.
the New England Patriots with 26 seconds to go.
Like, I still don't understand why they didn't fucking
Surely they would
run
just
the
run
ball.
the ball in with powerhouse running back Marshawn Lynch, right? Nope. Instead, Russell Wilson would throw a slant to wide out Ricardo Lockett that would get cut off by Butler, who intercepted the pass. And
he was a
shattered the
rookie,
dreams of
too.
Seahawks fans everywhere. The following 2 seasons would see the Legion of Boom remain successful, but Seattle would lose in the divisional round twice to the eventual NFC champions, the Carolina Panthers in 2015.
Then
and
the
Atlanta
Panthers lost to the
Falcons in
Broncos that year
2016.
in the Super Bowl,
After
right?
that, things pummeled downhill for LOB. Cam Chancellor would shockingly retire after the 2017 season.
Oh, wow.
Richard Sherman would sign with the rival 49ers in the same offseason, and just 1 season later, Earl Thomas would leave to play for the Baltimore Ravens. The Legion had
2019.
fallen. However, they had done more than enough to solidify them as one of the best, if not the best, secondary in NFL history, and they have a dominant ring to show for it. So, how good was the Legion of Boom actually? Very, very good. Are they the greatest secondary of all time? Let us know in the comments. You made it to the end. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching the Halftime Show.
Hey
What's
man.
talking about you?
Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm gonna shut it for you real quick. LOB.
Hey man, do y'all think that Legion of Boom was the best secondary of all time? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. But that's gonna do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you're new, turn on post notifications to get notified whenever I drop another banger video. And without further ado, I'm out. Yeah.